Hey everybody, it's Lone Wolf here, and welcome to episode 4 of my Cryptids of America series, where I cover the 50 most unique cryptids haunting the 50 states of America. Tonight's video is a very special episode in the series, as I will be joined by fellow horror narrator Jinxed Calavera. Jinx, why don't you tell the audience what states we will be going over tonight?
Hi everyone, my name is Jinx. My channel is Jinxed Calavera. If I have any of my followers here, hi my little Calaveras. Thank you so much to Lone Wolf for having me on here. And today we are going to cover one of my personal favorite topics, cryptids. Today we will be going over Michigan's Dogman, Wisconsin's Beast of Bray Road, Illinois' Enfield Horror, Kentucky's Hopkinsville Goblins, and Tennessee's Wildman.
We both hope you enjoy tonight's video, and there will of course be a link in the description for the Cryptids of America playlist for those of you who are just joining us. And now, without any further delays, let's get started.
In the state of Michigan, my home state, one of the most eerie legends around is the Michigan Dogman. The Michigan Dogman is described as a werewolf-type creature, about 7 feet tall and bipedal, with either blue or amber eyes, and a very muscular body covered in dark brown or black fur. The Dogman has been spotted many times in Michigan, particularly in the northwestern part of the state's southern peninsula, and sightings range from suburban neighborhoods to remote forests and abandoned buildings. Many people have claimed to see the beast running on either 4 or 2 legs with unnatural speed, while others have reported hearing the creature howling, remarking how it somewhat resembles a human scream. The first sighting of the Michigan Dogman took place in 1887, when a pair of lumberjacks in Wexford County claimed to see a large creature with a human body and a wolf-like head. Since then, many reports of the creature have arisen, particularly in the 1900s. In 1938, a local fisherman was out along the Muskegon River when he was attacked by a group of wild dogs. According to his story, he managed to scare most of them off with his shotgun, but one of them remained unfazed and instead stood up on its hind legs while intensely glaring at him. The Dogman was sighted several more times in the 1950s and 60s, in areas such as Elgin County, Cross Village, and Manistee County. One of the most well-known sightings of the Dogman occurred in 1961, when a sheriff deputy named Robert Fortney stumbled upon the creature while on patrol in the town of Paris. Despite having a weapon, Fortney quickly fled when confronted by the beast. In 1987, the Michigan Dogman gained a lot more popularity when a DJ in Traverse City named Steve Cook recorded a song about the creature titled The Legend. The song was originally meant to be an April Fool's joke, but shortly after it was released, Cook received dozens of phone calls from fans claiming to have seen the beast. Reports of the Michigan Dogman persisted into the 2000s, and locals claim to see the creature to this day. Various theories have been created to explain the origins of the Dogman. Cryptozoologists believe it might have been a living prehistoric animal, such as a direwolf, while others suggest it might be an animal that was experimented on by the government before escaping or being set free. Paranormal enthusiasts believe the creature is a type of werewolf, or something similar to skinwalkers, witches in Navajo culture that can shapeshift into different animals. Some believers in the Michigan Dogman have compared it to other similar creatures in the Great Lakes area, including Wisconsin's Beast of Bray Road and the Beast of Seven Chutes in Quebec, Canada. Skeptics insist that the Dogman is merely a misidentified animal, such as wolves or coyotes with mange, or black bears standing upright. Other skeptics believe the entire story of the Dogman is fictional, originating from ancient Native American legends of shape-shifting spirits and guardian animals and European stories of werewolves and other mythical animals. However, this controversy did not stop the Dogman from becoming popular in Michigan. At least 2 movies have been made about Dogman by Brower Productions, Inc. in Traverse City, and the creature was even featured in the TV show Monster Quest in March 2010. The Dogman's popularity was also greatly influenced by Steve Cook's song, which ended up becoming the most requested song on the WTCM FM radio station. Cook would edit the song in later years, adding new verses in 1997 and re-recording it in 2007 with a mandolin backing. Cook also sold the song on cassette tapes for $4 apiece and donated the profits to local animal shelters. Over the years, the Michigan Dogman has gained a great deal of popularity, and despite the skepticism, many people continue to believe in its existence.
While the Michigan Dogman is Michigan's claim to fame in the cryptid world, Wisconsin has a similar creature to show for itself: the Beast of Bray Road. The Beast of Bray Road is described as a large bipedal creature, roughly 6 or 7 feet tall when upright, with dark, shaggy hair, a muscular humanoid torso and limbs, and a wolf-like head with pointed ears and glowing eyes. The creature has often been associated with werewolves, although some researchers have associated it with a Wisconsin Bigfoot, known as the Bluff Monster. The beast has been seen lurking in the rural areas and forests near Walworth County and Elkhorn, Wisconsin, particularly along a rural stretch of road called Bray Road, hence the creature's name. It has often been seen eating roadkill or running across roads at night, and although it appears intimidating, has rarely acted aggressively towards people. The Beast of Bray Road is mostly known for a series of encounters in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The first sighting took place in the fall of 1989, when a woman named Lori Andrizzi was driving home on Bray Road one night. At around 1:30 a.m., Lori spotted a large figure on the side of the road facing away from her, but as she got closer, she could see the figure was about 5'7" and 150 pounds, with pointed ears and brownish-gray fur all over its body. The creature was kneeling on the ground and had a flattened chunk of roadkill in its clawed hands. When it looked up at Lori, its eyes glowed with the car's reflected headlights. The creature didn't move from its position and stared Lori down as she drove away. The creature wasn't seen again until December of 1990, when Heather Bowie came across it while out sledding with her friends one evening. Heather described the beast as having a silvery fur coat with brown patches, and a face resembling that of a coyote. The creature reportedly stared Heather and her friends down before chasing them, pursuing them about half of the way to Heather's house before turning back. One of Heather's friends, named Russell Jest, confirmed the story as well. In 1991, the Beast of Bray Road was spotted once again by a woman named Doris Gibson, ironically on Halloween. While driving down Sidler Road, known today as Hospital Road, Gibson felt one of her tires suddenly lift off the ground, and decided to pull over, fearing she had hit something with her car. At first, she didn't see anything of note, but when she walked towards the trunk of her car, she saw a large, hairy beast charging towards her. Gibson quickly got back into her car and sped away. Following the incident, Gibson thoroughly examined her car, and found distinct claw marks on the back of the trunk. Gibson would see the creature again later that day after picking up a friend of hers from a Halloween party. While they were driving, her friend claimed to see a large animal walking along the side of the road. Gibson didn't stop to look at the creature, and instead drove away as quickly as possible. In August of 1992, two friends, Tom Brichta and Chris Maxwell, were driving to a wedding reception in Genesee Depot. It was incredibly foggy that day, and as Chris was driving, he felt his car suddenly hit something. At first, he thought he had hit a mailbox, but when he backed up to look, there was no mailbox in sight. At that moment, he and Tom were hit with an incredibly strong odor, smelling almost skunky. They then saw a huge, hairy figure with white and black striped fur walk up to their car before reaching out and scratching the side of it. Tom and Chris quickly drove off and reported the creature to the authorities, but nothing was ever found. Tom would see the creature a second time about 2 months later, this time with another friend of his, Scott Freeman. While driving past a cornfield one night, Tom saw the creature about 20 feet away, staring menacingly at him and his friend. Tom later described the beast as having dog-like legs and distinctly black fur. Following Tom's encounters in 1992, sightings of the Beast of Bray Road largely subsided. The last major sighting of the creature occurred in May of 2020, when Ron Rice apparently spotted the creature standing about 150 feet away from him while visiting a farm in the town of Lyons. Shortly after seeing it, Rice observed the creature pick an unidentifiable object off the ground before retreating into the forest. No other official reports of the creature have arisen since. Today, many people continue to debate the legitimacy of the Beast of Bray Road. Some people believe it's a werewolf or Dogman, others think it might be a type of Bigfoot, and others still think it might be a previously unknown species. Many Native Americans that live in Wisconsin and surrounding states believe the creature might be a Wendigo, a cannibalistic spirit or monster that has the ability to shapeshift. Skeptics, however, insist that the creature is just a misidentified wolf or bear with mange, or even a large feral dog. Other skeptics think it might be the result of mass hysteria, causing people to misidentify local animals, or that the beast is a prankster wearing a costume. Nonetheless, the creature's legend remains quite popular in Wisconsin, especially with the help of newspaper reporter Linda Godfrey. Following the string of sightings in the late 80s and early 90s, a local newspaper business, the Walworth County Week, assigned Godfrey to cover the story, and her investigations greatly contributed to the creature's notoriety. Godfrey would later write a book about the beast, titled The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf. The beast has also been talked about in various paranormal documentaries and TV shows, including the show Lost Tapes, where the beast attacks a group of militia soldiers. A good deal of merchandise has been made in the creature's image as well, and in 2005, a feature film was made covering the monster's story, named Beast of Bray Road. Additionally, the creature is annually celebrated in Elkhorn with the Beast of Bray Road Festival, where guests can enjoy chainsaw carving competitions, live music, and vendor markets. The festival also offers a guided bus tour down Bray Road, an attraction that guests look forward to every year in the hope that they just might catch a glimpse of the werewolf of Wisconsin.
The story of the Enfield Horror, also known as the Enfield Monster, is an incredibly memorable legend in the state of Illinois. The Enfield Horror is described as a rather small creature, about 4 to 5 feet tall, with very gray or pale skin, red glowing eyes, very short arms with clawed hands, and 3 legs. The creature gets its name due to the string of sightings reported in the small town of Enfield in the early 1970s. The first encounter took place on April 25, 1973, when a boy named Gregory Garrett reported being attacked by a strange creature while playing in his backyard. Garrett described the creature as having 3 legs, grayish skin, short arms, and red eyes. When the being attacked Garrett, it reportedly stomped on his feet with its own feet, destroying Garrett's tennis shoes before he managed to escape into his parents' house. About 30 minutes later, Henry McDaniel and his wife returned to their home, and were told by their 2 children that someone or something attempted to break into the house. At that very moment, all 4 of them heard a strange scratching sound coming from their front door. Being the skeptic that he was, Henry went to the front door and opened it, expecting to find a stray animal, but was instead confronted by the same creature that had attacked Garrett. Henry quickly slammed the door and grabbed a flashlight and his .22 pistol. He then went back to the front door, opened it, and fired 4 shots into the creature. Instead of dying or appearing injured, the creature hissed at Henry like a wildcat and began bounding away from the house. Henry claimed that the creature managed to cover about 50 feet in 3 huge leaps before disappearing into the woods. The McDaniels quickly called the police, but when the Illinois state troopers arrived, the only evidence remaining were the scratch marks on the McDaniels' house and the strange footprints in their backyard. According to authorities, the footprints vaguely resembled dog prints, except they had 6 toe pads and looked as if it had been left by a creature with 3 legs. Henry McDaniel would see the creature again on the evening of May 6th when he was woken up at 3 a.m. by the sound of neighborhood dogs howling. When he opened his front door, he saw the creature standing on the railroad tracks near his house. This time, there was no confrontation, as Henry simply watched the being as it slowly walked down the tracks. Following Henry's second run-in with the monster, the local press caught wind of the sightings and caused quite an uproar in the town of Enfield. Locals were reluctant to leave their homes for fear of being attacked, and various groups of monster hunters began patrolling the town in search of the creature. During one of these patrols, a group of 5 men found the creature hiding in the underbrush near some of the railroad tracks. When they opened fire on the creature, it didn't appear to be affected, and ran away from them at lightning speed. The creature was almost identical to the one seen by Garrett and the McDaniels, the only difference being that the creature seen by the railroad tracks was covered in hair. The last person to encounter the Enfield Horror in the 1930s was Rick Rainbow, the director of the radio station WWKI in Kokomo, Indiana. One day, Rainbow was out with 3 friends when they saw a strange figure running through the forest near an abandoned house not too far from the McDaniel home. The figure was reportedly 5.5 feet tall and hunched over with gray skin, and it ran through the forest with incredible speed. Following Rainbow's encounter, sightings of the Enfield Horror quickly tapered off, and it wasn't seen again until 1941, when a series of similar reports arose in the town of Mount Vernon, about 40 miles away from Enfield. Locals reported seeing a strange baboon-like creature that could cover 20 to 40 feet in a single leap, and linked it to various animal mutilations and killings that occurred around the same time. This creature has since been dubbed the Mount Vernon Monster, and it is believed to be the same creature that terrorized Enfield, although some believe it might be a devil monkey, a large baboon-like creature that is prominent in North American folklore. Today, there is a great deal of discussion around the Enfield Horror's legitimacy. Extraterrestrial enthusiasts think that it might have been an alien, as a large amount of UFO sightings were reported around the same time the creature was at large. This had led the Enfield Horror to be compared to other alien-like cryptids reported in America, including Massachusetts' Dover Demon and West Virginia's Mothman. Supernatural enthusiasts theorize that the Enfield Horror is a demon of some sort, while other believers think it might have been an animal with a genetic mutation. On the other hand, skeptics believe that the creature was merely an escaped zoo animal or exotic pet, a kangaroo, for example, which would explain the creature's unnatural jumping abilities, or that it was a result of mass hysteria following an animal being misidentified. There were also a few cases of local teenagers pretending to be the monster as a prank, further adding to the skepticism. However, because of the commotion the creature caused in the 1930s, it has remained quite popular. The creature has been featured in cryptid encyclopedias, paranormal documentaries, podcasts, and even trading card games, including MetaZoo, Cryptid Nation. The creature's legend also makes for a very popular campfire story, and despite the skepticism, people throughout Illinois love to recount the tale of Enfield's three-legged alien.
While we're on the topic of aliens, the state of Kentucky has an extraterrestrial legend of its own, the legend of the Hopkinsville Goblins. The Hopkinsville Goblins, also known as the Kelly Little Green Men, are described as small humanoids about 2 to 3 feet tall, with large heads, pointed ears, silvery skin that almost looks metallic, long skinny limbs with clawed hands, and big glowing yellow eyes. The goblins are also known to move around in a strange floating manner, almost as if they're defying gravity. There is only one recorded encounter with these strange beings, which took place on August 21st, 1955, between the towns of Hopkinsville and Kelly, Kentucky, earning the creatures their name. On the evening of August 21st, the Sutton family witnessed a strange bright light flash across the sky. Shortly afterwards, the family noticed a group of short, silvery-skinned figures running around their farmhouse. About 12 of these creatures terrorized the Suttons, climbing on their roof and looking in through their windows. During the chaos, one of the Suttons grabbed his rifle and shot at one of the goblins sitting in a tree. The bullet hit the goblin square in the chest and it fell to the ground. But instead of dying, the goblin simply got up and floated up into the air, its body glowing. The only evidence of the skirmish was a glowing spot in the grass where the creature hit the ground. At the same time, a friend of the Suttons, named Billy Ray Taylor, also tried to confront the small creatures, but quickly ran away after one of the goblins jumped off the roof and grabbed him by the hair. The creatures apparently visited the farmhouse multiple times that night, tormenting the Suttons for hours. The Suttons tried shooting at the creatures multiple times, but the creatures seemed completely unaffected. Eventually, the Suttons managed to get to their car and drive off to call for help, but by the time authorities arrived at their house, the goblins were gone. The police ended up chalking up the creatures as hallucinations, caused by inhaling natural gases released from the ground. However, that same night, other people in the area, including several police officers and even a state trooper, claimed to see similar bizarre activity, including strange lights in the sky. The strange creatures haven't been seen since. Believers in the paranormal view the story of the Hopkinsville Goblins as one of the most believable cases of extraterrestrial beings visiting Earth. Other believers in the story think that the goblins might be connected to Appalachian folklore, which talks of tribes of little people or goblin-like creatures, as Appalachian folklore is incredibly popular in Kentucky. Those who are skeptical of the Sutton story often turn toward the natural gas theory, while others think the goblins were just local animals. Many skeptics claim that the goblins were just great horned owls, which have large yellow eyes that glow with reflected light and have been known to fly silently through the air at night, and that the isolation of the Sutton farm, combined with the Suttons' intense fears, caused them to misinterpret what they saw and heard. However, the story of these strange supernatural goblins was so impactful that it didn't take long for these creatures to gain a cult following. The Hopkinsville Goblins are known for inspiring movies such as Critters and E.T., as well as TV shows such as Project Blue Book. The goblins are also prominently mentioned in studies of UFOs and aliens, and the 1955 encounter is celebrated every year during Kentucky's Little Green Men Days festival. Additionally, the legend of the Hopkinsville Goblins is recognized throughout the country as one of the most famous alien encounter cases in America.
One of the most infamous legends told in the state of Tennessee is that of the Tennessee Wildman. The Tennessee Wildman is described as a large humanoid creature about 7 to 9 feet in height, with elongated limbs, dark shaggy hair, and glowing eyes. The Wildman is also incredibly strong and fast, and is known to let out deafening screams or bellows when spotted, frightening anyone who hears them. Its appearance has often been compared with Bigfoot, although unlike Bigfoot, the Wildman is very territorial and would rather charge at people than run away. The Wildman's legend goes all the way back to the 1800s, when tales arose of a wild human who lived in the woods near McNairy County, Tennessee, frightening hunters and farmers. In 1871, local newspapers printed stories about the Wildman, including one story about a circus showman who managed to capture it and put it on display for the public to see, before it eventually escaped. As the years passed, stories of the Wildman spread into neighboring towns and communities. In the 1930s, families living near the town of Adamsville began reporting a large, hairy creature stealing livestock and loud, unnatural screams at night. Sightings of the creature greatly increased in the 1950s, when people reported livestock going missing, barn doors being damaged or forced open, and strange, hulking figures peering into windows at night. Some reports around this time suggested that the Wildman specifically targeted women, as some women in McNairy County claimed the creature tried to abduct them. These reports persisted for about 50 years, until the final reported encounter with the Wildman occurred near the town of Elizabethton in the early 2000s. One rainy night, Rob Phillips and his cousin were hiking to the Bee Cliffs when suddenly the sounds of the forest went quiet. Just as the two men noticed this, they heard branches breaking nearby, followed by an inhuman, blood-curdling scream. Phillips and his cousin quickly ran into the woods, with Phillips taking cover behind a tree. When he looked out from behind the tree, he saw a large, hairy figure clinging to a tree about 15 feet away. Phillips and his cousin left the forest at a fast pace. When Phillips reported his encounter, he described the creature as about 9 feet tall, with beady red eyes, sharp claws, and a powerful stink that resembled the smell of a dead animal. Following this encounter, no further sightings of the Tennessee Wildman were reported, but many people continue to believe it still lurks in the forest surrounding McNairy County. Various theories have been created to explain encounters with the Tennessee Wildman. Bigfoot enthusiasts insist that the creature is some type of Sasquatch, while other believers think it might be a feral human or a hermit living in the woods. Those who are more skeptical of the stories believe that people are simply seeing misidentified animals, possibly bears standing upright, while others believe the entire story is a hoax, brought about by old folkloric tales embellished by the press. In spite of the controversy, the Wildman has remained a popular supernatural figure in Tennessee. The creature has popped up in paranormal podcasts and TV shows from time to time, and is prominently featured in the yearly Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Convention, where guests can listen to various guest speakers and hear their stories about the Wildman and other supernatural topics. Occasionally, reports of the Tennessee Wildman still surface among cryptid communities, but as of 2025, no significant sightings of the creature have been recorded.
What's up, everybody? Lone Wolf here. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to tonight's video. In case anyone is interested, all of the various elements used in this video, including pictures, music, sound effects, and stories, will be linked in the description below. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, click the bell for notifications so you don't miss a new video. If anybody has any personal stories or story recommendations for me, or any advice to help improve the channel, there will be links to all of my social media platforms in the description. I'm mostly active on Twitter and on Instagram, but I also have an email, a Discord server, and a TikTok account that you can message me on as well. Until next time, stay spooky. And remember,
the hunt begins when the moon is full.